everyone, hello my money friends, welcome back to the channel. Dunk here from Dunk's Money. If you are a subscriber, thank you very much for subscribing. I really appreciate the support, and thank you for all the liking and commenting on my previous videos. If you are new to the channel, I'm Dunk. I'm from Scotland. I'm an entrepreneur and then I'm an investor. I'm really interested in finance, and this is my YouTube channel where I will share stocks and shares sorts of tips, financial issues and other sort of money matters. I'll be posting videos here, so make sure to subscribe so that you get all my latest videos, and I hope that you will enjoy them. I started off in the world of finance about five years ago or so, and I understand that it can be quite confusing at first, but don't worry, you will get there. Keep watching the videos and watch other folk as well, and you'll learn lots more about finance. I hope you enjoy. Hey everyone, welcome back today to another episode on Dunk's Money with me, Dunk, yours truly. So today I thought I'd make a quick video about the top 5 financial books that I think are brilliant and have really helped me, and I think they'd be great for anyone who's new or just starting out in the world of trading stocks and shares. So for many of you who follow the channel, you'll know that I am very interested in trading stocks and shares and investing, and that's what I do pretty much on a daily basis. I read up on financial markets, I look at different stocks and shares that are for sale, and I generally post videos of me on the majority of my trading that I do. I tend to record it and share it with you guys on YouTube, as I think it's a great way for you all to learn, and maybe you can learn from my mistakes too. Certainly looking back when I started off investing in stocks and shares, I kind of wish there was somebody I could have watched and seen what they were doing, and I quite enjoy putting up the periodic updates as to how my investments are doing, and that way you can track it from the beginning right towards the end. I think it's really good. Now I consider, for me, investing for me is a hobby, where some of my peers or friends enjoy playing sport, which is probably better for you. I actually tend to enjoy investing and reading about finance. There's nothing I love more than sitting with a good book and reading about financial matters, or just anything I can do to add to my knowledge. I just love it, really, to be honest with you. It's something that I really relish in. I'm not as interested in going out and playing football, although I do enjoy going out on my bike or whatever, but no, for me, investing in stocks and shares is something that I really enjoy, and I have got stacks of books on finance, and behind me here are just some of the books I have. I've got heaps, but these are the sort of books that I sometimes refer to, or the ones that I'm using currently. But today what I'll do is I'll post up five top books that, in my opinion, I believe are the best ones that I've got, that I use almost every day as a kind of reference, and I think they would benefit you greatly if you're a beginner to stocks and shares trading or investing in general. Now, the way that I tend to look at it, guys, and this is just my opinion, you might be totally different, but I am a firm believer of the fact that you must invest in you to start off with, because if you don't have the knowledge there in place to understand what you're doing, how can you make good investments? And that's why I love to have a big collection of books that I can refer to almost like a kind of reference book. And I think it's really important that you have those tools ready there, so that you can access them whenever you need them. Another great thing, I suppose, is Google's a great thing, and YouTube, following people like myself and other YouTubers, is also really beneficial. But if I explain to you simply, you could buy a book, for example, and it might cost you, say, I don't know, £20, a really good reference book, £20. But the way I look at it is, I then have learned so much from that book. I invest in stocks, and my Tesla share alone has made me enough money that would more than cover twice the cost of one book. So I think it's a great way to start off with trading. Just get some books and increase your knowledge. Knowledge is strength. I'm a true believer of that. And what we'll do now is I'll speak you through the 5 books that I use all the time, that I refer to, that I love to read, and I'll do them in order of my kind of favourite, that I tend to use most often, and I hope it really helps you guys. And what I'll do, guys, just to keep it easy for you, is I'll post links below in the description to the books and where you can buy them on Amazon, and you can buy these books on any other website, but any of the prices that I refer to are from Amazon, and that's where I've bought the books from myself. And what I'll do, guys, is for each book, I'll give a general overview of the book and why I like it and the sort of key things about it. I won't go into too much detail, as what I might do is bring out some videos going into more detail on each individual book. So here goes, and let's start with the first book. So the first book that we'll speak about today is actually the first book that I ever bought quite a few years ago now, but I think this book is a staple for anyone who's serious about investing in shares, and that is Investing in Shares for Dummies. This is a fantastic book that I use time and time again, and what's great about it is, well, it says for dummies, and I didn't take offence to that, but they make it really, really simple and easy to understand, and they actually go over pretty much everything that you need to know really when it comes to investing in shares. Now, the book is written by David Stevenson and Paul Lajinovac, pronounced that right. Now, David Stevenson's an author and Financial Times columnist, and Paul is a certified financial planner and investment consultant. Now, I know that David Stevenson, he's written many other books regarding investing in shares. He also actually manages his own fund, so that's great. He's got personal experience of investing in shares, which is great. That's what you want, obviously. And Paul Lajinovac, I know that he kind of runs courses in America, and people spend a lot of money to go on his courses, but they do seem to come out quite well. And he also has written many books, and he's a financial planner, so he's helped a lot of businesses and individuals with their money concerns. So two very, very strong authors. Maybe Google each authors, that's what I tend to do, find out more about them, make sure that they're kind of doing what you want to do. So it's a really good, cracking book. It really breaks down all the jargon that's associated with investing in shares, and it explains everything in really simple terms. They explain how you can analyse a company, analyse the balance sheet, basic sort of accounting skills that not everyone knows unless you've been fortunate enough to work within the industry. So how you can analyse the balance sheet, for example, look at income statements, how you can pick out winning shares, all the sort of key ratios that you need to know about when looking at a business. Because let's not forget, guys, when you're buying shares, you're buying a share in a company, and you can analyse a company to make sure that you are buying a healthy company. So with a book like this, it can really give you a good foundation and a good grasp as to how to do the basic checks. I'll try and show you here. There's just pages and pages and pages of information, and it's just all made so simple to understand. There's tables, indexes, and I just love this book, and I use it all the time. They talk about what's a stock market, what is a broker, just all the basics that you really do need to know. And if there's one book that you should buy, guys, honestly, it is this one. It has served me so well. I remember once reading it on a train. I was on a ScotRail train reading this book, and you guys, you can imagine heads were turning. People were kind of looking at me funny, but you know what? Knowledge is key. And if we just look, for example, the essentials of investing in shares, the differences between funds, investment strategies and tactics, it's just a cracking book. And I would definitely say that you should buy it. I love this book, and it looks pretty smart when you've got it on your bookcase as well. And this book is currently £11.99 on Amazon, which is nothing. I mean, just think, you would spend that money on a takeaway or lunch or whatever, and if you can spend that on a book like this, that'll give you so much knowledge. Honestly, it's so worth it. So yeah, it's May 2020, and it's currently up at £11.99. You won't regret it. The second book, everyone, that I honestly believe you need to have within your arsenal is the Financial Times Guide to Investing, the definitive companion to investment and the financial markets. And this is written by Glenn Arnold, and I really like Glenn Arnold as an author. Just a bit of information about Glenn Arnold. Glenn Arnold is, he was, during his academic career, he was a professor of investment, and he's written many other books for the Financial Times, and I really like the Financial Times as the newspaper, but I also really enjoy their books, and this is one of the books that I have that I really, really do like by them, or by Glenn Arnold. He actually owns his own equity fund as well, Glenn Arnold, and he runs a property development company from Leicestershire, which is in England, so he very much knows what he's talking about. He's got lots of experience, and he's written a lot of the kind of leading university textbooks on investment and finance, so a very, very knowledgeable man, and that was part of the reason I bought this book. The second reason is, you can't see it here, but the weight of it, it's a really, really big, heavy book. If we flick through the pages, you'll see there's just pages, page after page after page of information. And it is written for those of you who are new to investing, and it's a really, really, really good, very concise reference book, great to have on the shelf in case you need to read something. And it's got really good reviews as well, from the UK Shareholders Association and Investors Chronicle. They've obviously read the book and they've enjoyed it just as much as I have. Similar to the Investing in Shares for Dummies, in that it's written in a way that makes it easier for us to understand, but I do feel there's quite a bit of detail in this book. Maybe not as many diagrams and images as there were in the first book I showed you, but this is a very good book for those of you who are serious about getting into investing. And if I can just make it clear, guys, it's about stock market investing, not property investing or anything. It's predominantly focuses on stock market investing, which is what we all do. As we know, I love to invest in the stock market. Just to quickly explain to you just some of the stuff it does include. So what is investment, the rewards of investment, understanding stock markets, buying and selling shares, unit trusts, ETFs, exchange traded funds, investing in bonds, futures, options, financial spread betting, analysing companies and industries, mergers and takeovers, investment clubs, investment protection. There's just loads of topics in this book. And if we just take a random page, let's have a look. Right, so dividend yield. Right, so there we are. Page 257 talks about dividend yield, explains it to you, the calculations you need to know when working out your dividend yield. All about directors' reports and reviews. What does that all mean? Just a brilliant book, guys. Great to have for when you're looking at something, you're a bit confused, like I am quite often, and I'll think I'll grab that book, I'll have a read through it, and we'll see what it says in the book. CFD, contracts for difference, Trading 212 does that, as we know, similar to spread betting. Just a great book. And there's showing you there's Tesco, January 2014, the profit from buying shares. It just breaks it all down, makes it really simple to understand. It does feel like a university textbook. It is a very, very heavy, solid book, and I think it's an essential book that you must have if you are serious for investing in stocks and shares. So this book currently, guys, it's £24 on Amazon at the moment. You might say it's quite expensive, £24 for a book, but to be honest with you, that's with everything. You have to think, is it worth spending money on a book or spending it on a night out? And once you've got the book, you've got it forever. So I would not hesitate in buying it. I just think it's a fantastic book. So the third book, guys, that I really enjoy and I think is a great book that you should own when you're a beginner and new to investing in stocks and shares is The Rules of Wealth by Richard Templer. Now, I'll be honest with you, this book isn't strictly focused on investing in stocks and shares, but it's focused on growing your wealth and investing. And the reason that I'm including this is because I bought this book a few years ago for taking with me when I went to Kos in Greece. I thought I wanted a book that I could read whilst lying at the beach, and this is the book that I chose to buy. And what I took from this book, the one thing I took from it was Richard Templer explains that shares in the long term will always outpace property, and ever since that moment it really stuck in my head, because I've always been more a property dominated sort of person as opposed to shares, but this book flipped that on its head for me when I first read it in Greece a few years ago now. Richard Templer, he's another successful business person. He's written a few other books and he really does know what he's talking about. He's worked with very wealthy people and helping them. And in this book, there's over 100 rules to building your wealth. And he does talk about investing, he talks about compounding and shares, amongst other things. And it's a really good little book to have. It's a real, what would I say, it's a really inspiring book. And when you read it, you'll finish it thinking, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to start a business. And I just really, really enjoy it. I mean, even the back of it, if you dream of having enough money never to worry about it ever again, you need the rules of wealth. And it is a great wee book, and it's really well laid out. If I show you here, it's just breaks down all the rules. So if we just take a random page, so create new income streams. So talking about wealth creation strategies, investing wisely, managing your money properly. It's a great little book, and I love it. It's a sort of book that when it's really wet outside and it's miserable, or if we're travelling, I've read it over and over and over again. Richard Templer, if you're watching this video by any chance, I do really love this book. It's been great for me, and it has really inspired me in what I do today. So thanks for that, Richard Templer. But no, a good book to add to your arsenal, guys. And I think you'll really enjoy it. And it's only £8.34 on Amazon, so it's nothing, and it's a great book to have. Once you've got it, you've always got it. I love it. So the fourth book I'm going to speak about, guys. Now, I'll be honest, some of you who are watching this who are more experienced investors will probably be saying, Dunk, this book should have been at the start. But I'm doing this from a beginner's perspective, and I think this next book, you should really read it once you've read the other three and you've got a basic grounding of investing in stocks and shares. So the third book is Warren Buffett's Ground Rules. Now this book, I've owned this book for a few years now. It's written by Jeremy Miller. Now Jeremy Miller, to those of you who don't know who he is, he's actually a leading analyst for an investment company in New York City. And he's got 20 years experience in the investing industry. And what this book basically consists of is, now Warren Buffett, if you know who that is, if you don't know, you really ought to know. Warren Buffett, you could say, is probably the world's most successful trader of shares, investor. He's a long-term value investor in stocks and shares, and he started his own company, Berkshire Hathaway, many years ago, and they've always done really well, usually outperforming the Dow Jones Index. Now, when he started his firm, Warren Buffett, he wrote over 30 letters to all the partners within the firm explaining his strategies and what he was doing and the reasoning for what he was doing when he was picking stocks to buy or companies to buy into. And what Jeremy Miller has done quite cleverly in this book, he's taken all those letters and broken it down into the book to make it easy for us to understand as to what was Warren Buffett's thinking and what was his sort of logic behind what he was doing. So this is it's a great book, but I would say that you ought to have a wee bit of basic knowledge of investing to read this. You might get a bit confused, that's all I'm going to say. And I'm not wanting to sound patronising. I just think you might not enjoy the book as much if you don't have that basic knowledge there in the first place. It's a really fascinating book, and I'm not going to flick through it because I'm currently reading it. I don't want to lose my page. But it's just broken into different sections and parts within the book. There's no diagrams. It's not like the other books we've looked at. But it's a really good little book to own, and it's got many good reviews, and I'm really enjoying reading the book, and I think it's brilliant. It's a good insight into what Warren Buffett was thinking. Jeremy Miller had to get permission from Warren Buffett to actually publish the letters, so it's quite exclusive, you could say, obviously. But no, so words of wisdom from the partnership letters of the world's greatest investor. Warren Buffett is normally ranked as one of the most wealthiest men in the world, so he knows a thing or two about stocks and shares, and this book basically breaks down Warren Buffett's thinking. So another good book, guys, to have in your pocket. Like I say, always invest in yourself first, and it's a good book to have. Now, this book is currently just over £8 on Amazon, so what's £8? You own a great book. So the fifth book, guys, I'm going to speak about today is another book that experienced investors will be saying should be right at the top of the list, is this book here, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Now, for those of you who are new to investing in stocks and shares and have no idea who Benjamin Graham is is described often as the father of value investing. Benjamin Graham was Warren Buffett's teacher, and even Warren Buffett himself has said that this is by far the best book on investing ever written, and that's coming from Warren Buffett, who is one of the wealthiest, most successful investors in the world. So take that as a good indication. So it was written by Benjamin Graham, as I say, who was Warren Buffett's teacher. He's a value investor, And he basically, in the book, explains, if we just quickly flick through, you'll see there's not many, there's a few diagrams and graphs, but nothing like the previous books. Just talks about, it basically goes and explains analysing companies, using your due diligence, and just the kind of basics of when you're investing. You really want to investing for value and making sure that you're buying into good companies. It talks about the different types of investor that you have. It talks about investment funds, buying into individual companies, and it's a good book to own. A bit similar to Warren Buffett's ground rules in that I think you need to have a kind of basic knowledge of investing before reading it, as you might be a bit bamboozled. It's the only thing I would suggest. And you can see here, for example, S&P, the Standard & Poor's stock price indexes. So there's some nice graphs within the book, and he breaks that down and explains what you can take from that. And it's certainly is an interesting read. It's a bigger book than Warren Buffett's ground rules, certainly is bigger. And I like the fact that he uses different examples within the book to make it easy to understand. And it's timeless wisdom for today's market conditions. So, a very, very decent little book that you should really own. And it's got good reviews from folk who work for the Financial Times, The Economist, etc. So, and they've sold more than 1 million copies of these in the world. So it's popular little book, and currently on Amazon, this one is £16 on Amazon. So it is one of the more expensive books, but like I always say, guys, you've got to invest in yourself, And if you think, if I think to myself, I could easily have a night out and spend £100, or I could buy a few books for £100. Books will last me forever, and even there's a table here on expected growth rates and formulas that he uses. So, a great wee book. So I hope this little video has helped you guys who are new to investing in stocks and shares understand the books that I would suggest you buy, books that I use quite often. Great books. Remember, guys, when it comes to investing, it's really important that you have the knowledge there when you're buying into a company, and these books will help you understand how you can analyze a company and make sure you're buying a good share. As I've said previously, it's always important to invest in yourself first. There's no point jumping into stocks and shares with no knowledge. You need to kind of build your knowledge up. Not only that, but what I find with all my investing and financial books that I have, when I've got them on the bookshelf, it's a great conversation starter. When you have friends over at the house, they always want to know more, because as we all know, the world of investing can be quite complicated when you first look at it. So a lot of folk do like to ask questions about it. So give yourself a head start. Buy some books. I've listed them below in the description, and all the prices there. That's from Amazon. I'm sure you can buy them elsewhere. I just find that Amazon I find easy to buy from. You know what you're getting. But enjoy those books. Remember to practice with your trading. See how you get on. Don't be scared of it. And honestly, it'll come to you in no time. You'll get used to it. It just takes a bit of time and a bit of reading, studying, and learning. Now, stay safe and enjoy trading. So I really hope you enjoyed that video there. Thank you very much for watching. Please comment below and tell me what you think. If you like this video, please make sure to like it, and please remember to hit subscribe, and you'll get all my latest videos. All the best, guys. I'm Dunk, and I love money. So should you.